Right, today I'm going to have a look at a new rifle that I've just bought. Well, I did a deal actually, I swapped it for an air pistol. And this is a Webley Mark II service air rifle, but this is the very rare Series 1 version of that rifle. They only made 1,000 Series 1 versions. And it differed from the others quite considerably, mainly in the way that the barrel carriage was, but from the more common Series 3 one, which is what most Mark IIIs that you see advertised will be. It also had a different peep sight, and it had a safety catch. So let's have a closer look at this rifle. So basically same thing really, 3/4 stock, usual Webley checkering. Here's the safety catch. Now this is a manual safety catch, it's not automatic, so you can choose to have it on or have it off. And the main difference is this part here, which is the barrel carriage assembly. Now on the Series 2 ones and the Series 3 ones, there's a little press button and the barrel slides out and leaves this assembly in place on the rifle. On this one, you pull that spring down. It's quite difficult to do, and I don't want to damage it because it is fairly fragile. So you pull that spring down and this part actually slides out. It's all dovetailed, so this is an integral part. This bit here that holds the foresight and everything, the rear sight, pardon me, and everything, all of this is an integral part of the barrel, and it slides out on those little rails that you can see there. So they slide out of this attachment here. And what Webley found was that it wasn't very good, because these little catches here are only spring loaded, fairly thin metal. They used to break. It's held in with a little screw, and the screw come loose. People would lose these, and also these little grooves are quite fine that it slides into. They'd wear, and all in all, it wasn't a very durable or a particularly solid way of changing barrels. So Webley changed it to the version that I've shown you on my Mark III. The other thing had a different type of rear sight. Had a flip-up rear sight that was non-adjustable for height. One of these is missing. It actually had two, so it had one that folded that side and one that folded this side, that was set for slightly different ranges. Sadly, this is missing one of those little flip-up sights. Usual Webley service foresight. The bolt's different as well. The way the bolt holds the rifle in is actually different. It now works off, I don't know if you can see, but it's got a different type, different style of retainer. The whole bolt's threaded and winds in. And now the other difference is the peep sight. The peep sight on the Mark 1s, the Series 1s rather, is a lot more basic than on the later Series 3 ones, which are the more common ones. So I'll just close it now. So basically what you have your little peep sight, and there's a nut here. There's a nut there. By turning that, it just winds it up and down. And then windage is with this screw here, and it just pulls it against the spring in and out to give you your windage. So it's a lot more basic than the later sights. But this one's not in bad condition really, for such an old gun. Like I say, they only made 1,000 of these. These are quite scarce. I think they're mainly quite scarce because of the carriage of the barrel assembly was quite fragile. So probably a lot of them broke, and people just discarded the rifle in the early days without realising that it become quite the collectible piece that they are now. But you can see it's not bad. It's got most of its It's like got like a bit of a brown patina coming in places, but it's not in bad condition at all. This one's been fitted with a replacement plastic but plate instead of the horn one, so it should have had a buffalo horn one. This one's a plastic one. It's been replaced, presumably because someone's dropped it on the floor and chipped it. But other than that, really, this rifle is in very good condition when you think that it's the first series version of it. It still shoots sweet as a nut. This is a 177, which again is a little bit scarcer because they did tend to favour the 22 caliber. But this is a 177 caliber. And you can still interchange the barrels. They obviously made barrels to interchange. But, you know, what a fantastic old rifle. Just so well put together. This is quite an early one. This is serial number, I don't know whether you can actually see that, S587. So it's quite an early one. And a beautiful thing. It's a lovely rifle. So glad I got hold of this. The Series 3 ones are still rare, but then they're a lot more common. You do see most of what you see for sale, Gun Trader and in shops and websites and things, are all nearly always the Series 3 ones. The Series 1 ones are very scarce. You don't often see them advertised. Most people who've got them tend to keep them because of their rarity. And obviously that makes getting hold of one even harder because not many come onto the market at all. But you can see, you know, that the design of that was not as good as the design of the later one with the push button. But this rifle isn't in bad condition at all for such an old rifle. It's a lovely thing, and it shoots so sweet, and it's so accurate still. Not especially powerful, but still an accurate and beautifully made rifle. It really is. It's a lovely old girl. So it is. Webley Service Mark II. Series 1. 598, I think it is. Pretty sure Webley only made 1,000 of the first series before they changed over to the second series. But great gun. Proper bit of British history. Lovely, lovely thing.